I've seen some concerning trends with condos throughout the GTA. It's something I want to bring up here so that at least you're prepared if and when it happens to you. Hi, my name is Vas and I'm a chartered professional accountant. I'm also a full-time realtor that's built and invested in real estate right here in Toronto, York region, and in secondary markets. Now let's get into the video. You will not be disappointed. So I'm going to start this video giving you a quick story. I have a friend who's a property manager. He works for a property manager that has about 16 buildings downtown, very popular buildings that they're under their management. I've always relied on him on insider data when it comes to properties, how to look at status certificates beyond my accounting background and just looking at numbers. He's like my boots on the ground guy that I would ask, hey, like, how do you feel about this number? Does this make sense? Is this at risk? And just his different feel on different buildings. I feel we have a good understanding about condos in general, just between him and myself. Why am I bringing this up? So what happened in 2020 and 2021 is a number of buildings deferred condo maintenance, meaning that if anything required for you to get into a unit, with COVID, they weren't sure the risks, liabilities. So whatever could be deferred or not done was deferred and not done. Well, you can kind of see where this is going, right? It has to be done at some point in the future. But guess what happens? With the amount of inflation that we've had and everything that's happened since COVID, the price for that exact same service has gone up significantly. However, nobody really saw back in 2020 or 2021 that, what used to cost X is now double. So what does this mean? Well, in short, maintenance fees in condos are about to skyrocket. And here's what I'm talking about. I recently had a client, actually two. I have two anecdotes of two very similar situations, two sister buildings, both have shared amenities. One was registered before the other. And one of them recently had their updated budget for next year. 12% interest, 12% increase to maintenance fees. That's 12%. Well, guess what's happening now? I have a client, she's thinking about selling her unit in her building because their budget numbers haven't been announced. Their condo was registered later on. So she's going to get her numbers later on in the year, but she knows that if the sister building was at 12%, which is the exact same building, exact same builder, shared amenities, she's going to be coming in at 12%. She's already paying $860 per month for her unit. She's thinking about selling it because what is that going to do to resale? Now, the problem is this is going to happen across all condos. The only difference is how much is each condo going to go up by. Now, from the few status certificates that I've seen in the last little bit, even well-managed buildings are going up between 4 to 8% for next year. The ones that are not as well managed or the ones that deferred more maintenance, they're going up by double-digit percentages, so like 12%. That's the highest I've heard so far for an established building with a reserve fund. The other issue I'm seeing is that pre-construction that's taking occupancy now, I'm starting to see that their maintenance fees are actually starting out higher than advertised. We all know in the last few years when a condo comes online, maintenance fees for new pre-construction, it's usually high, and then the increases are pretty high for the first 3 to 5 years because they're trying to build up the reserve fund. But I'm starting to see that pre-construction starts higher than already was expected, and then the increases look like they're going to be higher as well because they have a lot of catching up to. So where does that leave you if you have a condo? Well, if you own a unit in a well-managed building, that will show for itself by way of hopefully lower increases year over year, but I don't think anybody's going to be immune from this. The one question I get a lot is, well, hey, if they already had the money for doing that job, well, why is it that the fees are going up now to make up for it? Well, because whatever was deferred, let's say something used to cost, I'll give you an example with the roof. I had a quote to get my roof done. This was a while back. It was $5,000. I didn't do it at the time, and it wasn't in bad shape. So then I had the same person requote the roof 12 months later, and now I'm getting quoted $9,600. And I had multiple people quote the roof, and everybody came in at about 10 grand. And it's only been a difference of 1 year. So condos are experiencing this exact same thing. The only other issue that condos have is that insurance has gone up as well. And I think this is across the board. So insurance is the big item. And one of the biggest expenses for condos is also labor. It would be security and your concierge staff. There's been issues with retaining people moving to more higher paying jobs. So again, they're feeling the pressure of having to increase their labor rates. So that again is also going to reflect in the condos. This video is to serve as a warning. This is not to say, hey, you have to sell your condo or, condos are going to be unaffordable. but inflation is hitting everyone, and it's something that's coming down the pipeline, and I think it's going to affect pretty much all of us. I'd love to know, if you live in a condo, what kind of maintenance fees increases you've seen to date. Please post in the comments below. Let me know the age of the building and a percentage increase that you've seen so far. It will be very helpful, because this way we can kind of get an idea of what's happening. Anecdotally, I've already done this with a few people, and for the most part, it seems like, again, back to what I was saying, well-managed buildings are, call it, in the 5 to 8%. And then newer buildings, or the not so well managed buildings, are double-digit percentage increases. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm sorry it wasn't the good news you were looking for, but I think it's better to at least know what's about to happen and be prepared than be caught off guard. And I'll see you in the next one.